gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages.
Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of the My Two Cents podcast, presented by and hosted by G2. I am G2. This is episode 250 of the podcast, and I would like to ask every single one of you, how are you guys doing? I'm hoping that everyone had a good to great to even awesome week last week. I hope you guys were able to take care of what you guys need to take care of. If not, have no fear. You have another week to take care of what you need to take care of. And I do hope that you are able to carry the momentum of last week into this week, not if you had a bad week. If you had a bad week last week, I hope your momentum is able to shift and it goes on the positivity track this week. But if it was already good to great to awesome last week, I hope you're able to carry the momentum going into this week. Also, I'd like to add that, as I say every Sunday, I hope you guys are taking care of yourself mentally. I'm hoping that you're not taking on too much stress. Stress is a silent killer. Stress is something that will weigh you down. If you're already feeling bad physically, stress will add on to your mental, and that will also weigh you down, and which again will send you into a earlier grave. And I don't think people want that. I don't think people should add on to their plate of problems if you're already dealing with certain things. I want this to go out to people that are having problems of their own and they're working through problems of their own. If someone tells you their problem, if you can fix it or just give them a little assistance and it's no biggie to you, I would say do it. But if it is a hindrance to you as you're already handling a problem of your own and you don't have the mental capacity, please do not try to take that on. Please do not try to add that onto your plate, because the only thing you're going to do is stress yourself out more. And as I said, you will put yourself into an earlier grave. I don't want that. Your loved ones don't want that for you. So please, again, if you already have or going through some problems of your own and you're trying to figure out your own problems, please do not take on someone else's problems and add stress onto your life. Okay. So I do want to say that, as I do say that every Sunday before I get into everything. So let that be a word to everyone. Now, with that said, now is going off to the National Food Days of the Week. Today being October 19th is Seafood Bisque Day. October 20th will be Brandied Fruit Day. October 21st will be Pumpkin Cheesecake Day. October 22nd will be Nut Day. October 23rd will be Boston Cream Pie Day. October 24th will be Bologna Day. And to round us out, October 25th, Greasy Foods Day. So it just means eat anything that has grease, whether it be pizza, fried chicken, hamburger, fries, all that type of jazz. All right. So with that said, that's your National Food Days of the Week. And now getting off of that, it's time for me to move over to the condolences. And this week, as we already know, we had the passing of D'Angelo that happened this week. He passed away because of pancreatic cancer. It was announced to everyone. We did get the information or the reason why Diane Keaton passed away. A death certificate would reveal that Diane Keaton fell ill with pneumonia. This death certificate was obtained by CNN. Specifically, Keaton's cause of death was listed on the document as a primary bacterial pneumonia with no other significant conditions listed as contributing factors. So that's what they said that she passed away from, and they have also clarified that she has also been cremated. So again, rest in peace to Diane Keaton, rest in peace to D'Angelo. But it was also confirmed this, I want to say, Thursday as well. People magazine would announce that Kiss founder Ace Frehley, he was the founding guitarist of Kiss. He passed away at the age of 74. Farley's family announced that we are completely devastated and heartbroken. In his last moments, we were fortunate enough to have been able to surround him with love, caring, peaceful words, thoughts, prayers, and intentions as he left this earth. We cherish all of his finest moments, his laughter, and celebrated his strength and kindness that he bestowed upon others. The magnitude of his passing of epic proportions and beyond comprehension. Reflecting on all of his incredible life achievements, Ace's memory will continue to live on forever. Ace passed away, as I said, at the age of 74. They would say that he took a fall in September, and at first people didn't think it was that big of a deal, but as you can tell, it was the situation that led to his ultimate demise. TMZ would report that he was on life support due to the brain bleed that was caused by the fall. So that had to suck. But once again, passing away at the age of 74, being a founding member of KISS, leaving the group, coming back some years later to play with them. But I just hope that people in the musician world that especially liked KISS, because I don't know much about KISS, I just know them because of their face paint, cherish the time that they had with Mr. Frehley. I'm hoping that the other founding members of KISS do spend time with Frehley's loved ones. If not, send them some type of gifts or some type of condolence gift towards that family. But all in all, I do once again want to say rest in peace to Diane Keaton, rest in peace to D'Angelo, and also now rest in peace to Ace Frehley. It's said that death comes in three, and those are the three that I do see that got racked up this week in the entertainment world. Hopefully, as we're rounding out 2025, we won't see any more deaths like this, but I have a feeling that death is an ongoing thing, because just like when people get born, that's a 24/7 type of time. Death is also 24/7 type of time. So we'll just wait and see, but let this be a thing to everyone out there, to people that have loved ones that's dealing with some type of illness, or people that's just dealing with their own silent battle and they don't want to tell their loved ones about anything. Or if you're seeing someone just dealing with someone or something, please just be cordial to them. Please don't be a douche. Please don't be a dickhead to them. And for the people that are dealing with these issues, the cancer, the mental illness, stress, and things that you're going through, or even some of the physical dealings that you're going through, please don't be a dick to your loved ones as well. Please be courteous to them. Please try to be on your best behavior, because it's not easy on the outside to see someone that you love start perishing and diminishing right in front of your face. And if you have a bad attitude towards them, or you snap on them, it doesn't end well. And it's not going to make people lean more onto you. It actually makes people step back from you. So in either cases, if you're a person on the outside looking at your loved one, please be courteous to them. And also, if you are dealing with the issue, you are the person, please be courteous to the person that's trying to help you and take care of your situation. All right? And please take life seriously. Don't take life for a joke. Do not try to throw life away, because I guarantee you there's a family out there that wish they could have their person back, that took life seriously, that never took life for granted, while you're here just throwing life away. So please don't spit on life. Don't disrespect life. Try to take care of yourself and try to live it the utmost that you can. And once again, don't be a dick to one another. I always say that at the end of the episode, but I want to start that off. I want to try to make that the new thing, to kind of let people know what type of time I'm on. So please, don't be a dick to one another. Please be cordial to everyone, all right? Now, with the condolences out of the way, let's get into the news that happened this week. And the first thing I do want to talk about is technically politics, just to get this out the way. So I'm going to put this message right up front. Anything that you're about to hear is the thoughts and opinions of G2, no one else. I am not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I am strictly my own person. I do not want anyone to ever associate this podcast with being a Republican podcast or a Democratic podcast. I just want everyone to know that there's no agenda being pushed here. Just want to let that be known every single time I have to talk about politics or anything political, because we're in a time where if you're on one side, you get demonized, you're on the other side, you get demonized, and I don't want that. I just want everyone to try to at least be cordial and at least have an open mind to everybody's views and opinions, as long as you're not a Nazi. If you're a Nazi, I don't give two damns about your opinions, to be honest with you. But other than that, let's get right into it. I believe at the beginning of this week, we had a agreement between Israel and Hamas with the Gaza ceasefire, and if I'm not mistaken, the beginning, or at least they said the first phase of this agreement, is that Israel has to, or at least Israeli military has to withdraw from some parts of Gaza, Palestine areas. That's at least one part of the first phase of this agreement. And then for Palestine's side, they have to give up the bodies and release the hostages that Hamas took from them approximately, I believe, almost 2 years ago. And people were able to return to their families this week, while the people that were no longer living, their bodies have been slowly started to be returned to their people. But as it seems, Israel is not too pleased with Hamas still holding some of the bodies. Israel is demanding Hamas to return the bodies swiftly. They're saying right now that they are missing 18 bodies right now. They're saying that Hamas still has 18 hostages in Gaza. They say that the militant group knows where they are, and warning that the Israeli military will plan to resume fighting if fails to do so. Now, I'm getting this all from NBC News. Hamas said Thursday the returning the body of the hostages may take some time, as some were buried in tunnels that were destroyed by Israeli bombing. Others remain under the rubble of the buildings bombed and demolished, it said in a statement. The group reiterated its commitment to the ceasefire, and in a new statement Friday it urged mediators to follow up on the implementation of the remaining provisions of the agreement, highlighting the need to increase the flow of aid into Gaza and begin the reconstruction process. U.S. advisors have also said the process could take weeks, and that during negotiations, all sides had acknowledged the difficulty of the recovery. So basically what they're trying to say is Israel needs to relax, give Hamas time to procure the bodies and bring them back to you, because obviously since the war or the attacks have been happening, the bodies that you're looking for probably are under the rubble. They're under the demolishing of the buildings. You guys know that. We talked about this in the room, so give them some time. Now, continuing in this article that I am reading here, they will say that on Thursday, the Ministry of Health in Gaza did post photos of what it said were bodies of Palestinian prisoners returned by Israel as part of the ceasefire, showing signs of torture with various fingers and toes missing. A doctor, I can't say homeboy's name, but he's a forensic medicine consultant and head of forensic medicine in Gaza, told NBC News that none of the bodies came with any identification. Some of the bodies had been tied behind the back, adding that one of the bodies had a rope tied around its neck. Now, NBC News will request a comment from the Israeli Defense Forces, but they did not respond to any of that about alleging the state of the bodies, meaning they want to know any type of comment. What do you have to say about the bodies that you guys returned? They didn't get no comment for that. But yeah, man, we're still, or I'm not going to say we're still, because I'm not over there, but there's still a tense feeling over there. I can see from what's been reporting. I do hope that they do keep the ceasefire at least together. I hope that they do remain. They're not going to ever remain, I believe, cordial to one another. I just hope that they at least try to at least keep at peace with one another. But I do want to say this. The World Food Program said Friday that it brought in 560 tons of aid since the ceasefire began, but hasn't distributed any of it to the Gaza City because key northern crossings remained closed. Now, looking at that and hearing what people have been saying about Israel kind of stopping aid being going over to Gaza, going over to the Palestinian people, I think this is a violation, or could be a violation to a ceasefire, personally, because if you have aid there for people that have been famine stricken over there in Gaza, you should be able to allow that crossing to open up for them. If you worry about anything else, how about you just look, survey, see if that's actually aid and food, all that crap that they said that they have for them. And once you see that it's that, instead of quote unquote people or whatever you're worried about, you open up the crossing, you allow them to go, you allow them to bring that aid over to the people that are struck with famine. Because we've seen videos, we've seen photos, people have been talking about it. There has been news coverage of people that haven't been getting any type of food, any type of nutrients to their bodies upon months now. That has been covered. And if you guys are on a ceasefire right now, which means you guys are trying to at least, again, not just be cordial, but at least try to play nice with one another, this should fall into that ceasefire. So I hope that Israel does do the right thing, allow these people to get the aid that was sent over to them. And I hope that they do continue this ceasefire, man, because this thing's been going on for 2 years. People want this thing to end. I know that there's probably some Israelis that want this thing to end. People look at people from Israel not in the greatest of light because of their leader right now. That's the overwhelming thought on Israel right now. But I guarantee you there's people over there in Israel that are wanting this thing to end. And I guarantee you they're not cool with anything that did happen. And I can probably say the same thing for people that are on the other side too. Palestinians probably aren't happy with what Hamas did, with the people that they took, people that died under Hamas's watch as kidnapped victims. I guarantee there's people that are not happy with that. But I do want people to, once again, understand you can't change the past. You only can go into the future. You can remind people of what happened in the past. Remind them to keep people on alert. But you got to work on the future right now. And the future right now is the present. Well, present, which will go into the future, if you will. You're at a ceasefire. You have a deal. Make sure the deal is right. Make sure you guys acquiesce to the deal. And just, once again, try to be on your very best behaviors the best way that you can. Because I think nobody wants this ceasefire to end. I truly do think that. I think nobody wants the ceasefire to end. So I do hope that everybody does play nice. Now that's one part of a war or invasion, if you will, that had at least on a ceasefire tip. The next one I'm talking about is a short one. President Trump met with Zelensky, who is the leader, the president of Ukraine, this past Friday at the White House. And Zelensky wanted some Tomahawk missiles, which is very long-range type of missiles for Ukraine to use against Russia. Trump isn't trying to hear that. He wants to make a deal with Vladimir Putin. I know he's supposed to be meeting with Putin, I believe, in a couple weeks somewhere. And so that's why he's kind of like pushing that off to the side, not trying to give Ukraine those Tomahawk missiles. I'm going to say this again. I would like for that invasion, that war to end as well. It's been going on 3 years now, 3 years and some months. I would like for this war to end with Ukraine and Russia, again, finding some type of middle ground and Russia moving off of some Ukraine property. Because again, I'll say it just like I said with the Israel, Palestine, Hamas thing. There's people on both sides that want this thing to end, and it's all up to the leadership at the top. If you could put the leaders in a room and lock them in the room and force them not to leave said room until they have a deal together, I think there would be a way for a deal to come to pass, because there's only so much that you're willing to actually be in a room with someone. And I think that should be the way to go. I think a lot of people need to be locked into a room until you guys find some middle ground, especially whenever you're the top leaders of your respective country that's going to war with one another. Because think about it. If you're the leader of your country and you decide to go to war, I would think you should be going back to old school days. At least you'd be trying to get on the battlefield. Now, I know all the leaders back in the day didn't always go on the battlefield. Some of them were in the tents in the back working with their strategists to figure out how to capture another place. But then you had some leaders that were ready to go on the battlefield, go on, not the front line, but probably like the second and third line, to go in there and try to do some damage. But that's what should be happening now, because people have gotten way too comfortable being in a leadership role and just say, yep, we're going to go to war. You do know going to war or trying to take over another place means you're going to have to eliminate certain people, which means you're sending your people to try to eliminate other people that's willing to eliminate your people as well. You as a leader, you don't care because, well, that really doesn't affect you like that, because it's not your family member and it's not you. It's just a name on a sheet, and you can just say, well, we'll send their family some condolences, we'll give them some type of money or a fruit basket or something, and then you go about your merry way. I think that whenever leaders, again, go to war or do try to say that we're going to go to war with someone, I think the leaders should be on those front lines, facing those wars, not just being off somewhere else. I do personally think that. So with this being the case here, again, with the invasion, with this war that we have here with Ukraine and Russia right now, I would love for them to be on the front lines. But since that's never going to happen, I would love for somebody, whether it be the United States with the other world leaders, to lock Ukraine leadership with Russia leadership in a room, find the middle ground country leader to be in there with them and get a ceasefire deal, work together. I think that's the only way we can actually get this thing done, because Putin has been pussyfooting it around for the last 3 years on the whole Ukraine-Russia deal in war. So that's just my thoughts on it. Again, Zelensky, I don't see him getting those tomahawks at all. But I do wish him well, and I do wish everybody in Ukraine well. I do wish everybody in Russia well as well. Because again, there's people in Russia that don't want this either. But I am happy to see that, once again, there is a ceasefire between Israel, Hamas, Gaza, Palestine, all that good stuff. And I do hope that they keep that stuff together. Now, moving off of the outside of the United States portion of the political portion of the broadcast here, I want to go inside the United States, and I want to talk about this for a minute. USA Today would write up an article saying that Trump asked the Supreme Court to remove a block on the National Guard deployment to Chicago. In an article, it would read that President Donald Trump asked the Supreme Court to remove a lower court's block on the deployment of National Guard troops to Chicago. Local officials opposed the troop deployment, and judges have found it could lead to civil unrest. Everything that the governor and mayor of Chicago has been saying all this time. But Solicitor General John Sauer, I believe that's how you say homeboy's last name, told the court that Trump determined troops were needed to quell protests against federal agents enforcing immigration laws, and that the danger was too great to wait for the litigation to be resolved. The High Court asked the state of Illinois and the city of Chicago to respond to the appeal by October 20th at 5 p.m. Now, all this is coming about because of a October 11th rule from a federal appeals court that, as I said, ruled against Trump's administration deploying National Guard into Illinois. But in a brief ruling by the 7th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Chicago, they did say that Trump could still federalize the National Guard. The ruling said troops already deployed don't need to return home for now. Meaning, if you already have troops there that you deployed there already, you keep them there for now. They don't have to try to go home. They're there, so you can allow them to do what they do. But any more troops, you can't send them there right now. They just aren't allowed right now. Again, until October the 20th for, again, the High Court to speak about it and respond to the appeal. I don't like it. I don't like, again, the National Guard being in the United States like this. I don't like that they're trying to send the National Guard over to different places that's basically opposing Donald Trump with the whole ICE program. Again, screw ICE. And speaking of that, since we're still in Chicago, CNN would write up this report saying that ICE arrests police officer in Chicago suburb and accuse him of being in the U.S. illegally. In the article, they will say that ICE agents arrested a police officer Thursday morning in the Chicago suburbs of Hanover Park, accused him of being an unlawful immigrant from Montenegro. The Department of Homeland Security says the officer, and God bless him, hopefully I'm saying the homeboy's name right, Radul Bolshevik, overstayed a tourist visa that expired in 2015. According to the department, Radul was encountered during a targeted enforcement action in ICE's immigration focus operation in Illinois. The Hanover Park Police Department shared a Facebook post in August announcing Radul's recent graduation from the Suburban Law Enforcement Academy, adding that he had started an intensive 15 weeks of field training and evaluation as he continues preparing to serve the community. CNN has reached out to the police for comment and has attempted to contact Radul. CNN on Thursday would get a statement from the Assistant Secretary of Department of Homeland Security saying that Radul violated our nation's laws and was living illegally in the United States for 10 years. What kind of police department gives criminal illegal aliens badges and guns? It's a felony for aliens to even possess a firearm. A law enforcement officer who is actively breaking the law. Now, the mayor of Hanover Park said Thursday night that village officials will be monitoring Radul's immigration proceedings. If he's allowed to stay in the U.S. and authorized to work, he will be returned to full duty status at the police department. So that's what the mayor said at a municipal meeting. So the mayor is just waiting to see what's going to happen with Radul and Department of Homeland Security. But here's my thing on this. Has Homeboy ever been arrested or anything? Has he ever been, charged with anything? Has he been a modeled citizen? That's what I think we need to look at. Again, I hate the thought process of ICE. I hate what ICE is about. I've said that if we are going to have this organization, ICE, because you just want to get quote unquote illegals out of here, and then when they start going deeper into it, we're just trying to take people out of here that don't work with the U.S. mindset. They've done bad things or whatever, because they like to throw that out a lot with the thing with ICE. If this police officer right here that just got added to the force in August, if he has never ever done anything wrong, if he's been not even to say a model citizen, because not everybody has to be a model citizen, let's be honest here, but if he's hasn't had any type of crime or any type of reprehensible charge to his name, dog, what are we doing here? Seriously, what are we doing here? I think that's what a lot of people are looking at ICE with. Dog, what are you guys doing? The people that you're getting, are they bad people? Have they sold drugs to the community? Have they killed people? Have they done any of those things over here in the United States? Because if they have, I guarantee you won't have people throwing up a fit or a knip fit at all about it. You'll have people saying, okay, you can take Homeboy out of here. You can get him out of here because he was already walking a tight line. And then if you do something like that, dog, what did you expect? You can get out of here. But if you have someone that has never done any of those things, they've just been here working on themselves to, once again, America loves this phrase in this tagline, trying to live out the American dream. You got to allow them to do that. I understand you want to get on him because he was if I'm not mistaken, because they said right here, he overstayed a tourist visa that expired in 2015. Okay, that's 10 years ago. So you got to ask yourself, what has he been doing these last 10 years? And why hasn't his name been put on the alert radar for the last 10 years? Because you got to think about it. That is 2 terms. That's 2 terms and a half. Think about it. He was around during Trump's term. He was around during Biden's term. And he was around during the end of Obama's term. Like, come on, dog. If he was doing something wrong, he would have got picked out of there. But it seems to me that he hasn't been doing anything wrong. So again, what are we doing? That's what I think everybody really has a problem with ICE. And that's what ICE's problem is. You guys aren't really doing the job that needs to be done. You guys are just trying to just kick people out of here that overstayed a visa or looks a type of way. Like, come on, dude, that's nasty work. Again, if ICE were to really do their due diligence and go after people that have done some nasty, reprehensible things, I don't think American citizens will be mad about it. And they'll probably even say, again, get them out of here. But you haven't. Because all the times you guys say you're getting someone out of here, you guys try to apply this person to a cartel or apply this person to some other drug enterprise. But people can say, no, that's not the case. That person isn't with that enterprise. That person is not with that organization. People can just smell it just being untruthful. And a lot of people can see it. We all say it, but we would just love for you just to come out and just say it to the people so we at least can say, well, at least that's what they're going by. At least they were truthful to our face about it. They ain't trying to hide it. But what makes it worse is you guys are just trying to hide it, which is dumb to us because we see it in plain sight. But anyway, screw ICE. And that's all I got to say with you guys about now with political news, at least over here on the U.S. side. Now, moving off the U.S., I have to talk about this. NBC News would write up an article saying that Prince Andrew gave up his Duke of York title and honors over Jeffrey Epstein developments. In the article, it would say that Prince Andrew will stop using Duke of York title after facing fresh questions over his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein. Andrew said in a statement issued via Buckingham Palace that he would no longer use my title or the honors which had been conferred upon me. The decision was taken into discussion with the king and my immediate and wider family, he said, after concluding that the continued accusations about me distract from the work of His Majesty and the royal family. As I have said previously, I vigorously deny the accusations against me. So that's what's going on with Prince Andrew. I'm going to say this right now. I think even though he's going to give up the title, I think he's still going to have some type of security over him. There's no way he just going free balling out here in the world. That's not happening. I understand he says that, but I think that's just to save face for, again, his brother who is the king now. I think that he's still going to be covered. Again, that's nothing but, for me, a ploy. You know what's funny? He has not stepped foot back over here in the United States. Because I remember back in when I was talking about this, either it was 2021, 2022-ish time, or even early 2023. One of those three. They were looking forward to him coming over to the States. Because you had officials over here in the States trying to question him and wanting to question him about Jeffrey Epstein and him being over at Epstein's Island because of a woman that says she was assaulted when she was 17 by Andrew when he was over there. And again, he never stepped foot back, at least I can say publicly, over here on U.S. grounds. Now, privately, because I'll say it right now, you got a lot of celebrities who've had some type of allegations against them that have gone away from the U.S. and stayed in different countries and publicly never came back on the United States land, but privately they were able to sneak their way back over here on U.S. land. I have a feeling Andrew probably had that type of situation. I mean, he can avoid the United States. I mean, that's cool, fine and dandy for as best as he can. But I just think that you only can do that for so much until you have to come to the United States for something. There's always something that people out of the country have to come back or come to the United States for something. And If he wasn't royalty, it would be because of all the usual tourist destinations. But because he's a royal and he's already seen tourist destinations, the big highlights, all those type of big buildings, I think he probably came back here from something personal and probably met with someone back here. Again, that's just an opinion, not a fact from me. But him giving up his title per se, I think that's all for show for the people. But I still do think that Andrew is still getting the securities and all the other stuff that comes with being a part of the royal family. I personally think that. So again, that's just my thoughts on Prince Andrew giving up his title. Again, I believe that's all smoke and mirrors, but hey, do with that what you will. Now, moving off of politics, now it's time for me to talk about someone losing their job thanks to their own actions at a sporting event. The Independent will write up an article about a Brewers fan that lost her job and is banned from the stadium for life after being named by internet as spectator saying "call ICE" on Dodgers fan. A Milwaukee Brewers fan lost her job in Make-A-Wish, Wisconsin board spot after social media footage showed her saying she was going to call ICE on a Latino Dodgers fan during a playoff game. In the article, they would break down what happened in this video of this white woman named Shannon. She was sporting Milwaukee Brewers gear, and she was yelling at a LA Dodgers fan. Okay, you know how sporting events go. When one team is up, that team starts talking crap to the other team, and when the other team's up, it goes vice versa. That's how sports go, right? This incident took a drastic turn when you see the dude that's recording, who's the LA Dodgers fan. He pans over to the Brewers people. He asks everyone, why is everyone quiet? Because the Dodgers are up. You would get Shannon looking at old boy and say that real men drink beer. And she would call him, and excuse my word, a pussy. She would then tap the man in front of her and say, you know what, let's call ICE. And this would have the man reply, call ICE, I'm a U.S. citizen, war veteran, baby girl, war veteran, 2 wars, ICE is not going to do nothing to me, good luck. The man will end up telling Milwaukee Journal Centel that he is a U.S. citizen of Mexican heritage who served in the U.S. Navy from 2001 to 2005. Okay? He would tell the outlet that Shannon later reported him to the stadium security and he was escorted out of the building. Now, since this incident has come to light, it has been announced, or at least been reported, that this incident cost Shannon her job and a board spot. She worked as a lawyer at a Manpower Group, a staffing company, according to the State Bar of Wisconsin, and her LinkedIn page has now been removed. So they quickly got her up out of there, as any company would. And let this come to show right now. You cannot go and start saying call ICE. You can't. Oh yeah, before I get into that more, she also served on the board of directors for Make-A-Wish for Wisconsin Records from Web Archive show Make-A-Wish. Wisconsin told the Independent that she resigned from the board effective immediately on Wednesday. So it seemed to me that someone from Make-A-Wish probably called her up and told her, yo, you got to resign. You got to resign or something's going to happen. Because companies have their way of doing things to get you out of there or whatever the case may have you. So either way, she lost her job and her board spot, all right? But getting back to what I was saying earlier, you cannot, especially at a time that we're in now, say you're going to call ICE. Now, she could have just said that just to get under the homeboy's skin because, again, homeboy more than likely looked Hispanic. And I don't know what it is, so I'm just going to say it out front. I don't know why white people love to just try to say something real derogatory to people that's not white. It could be a white person, a black person, they can get into it, and a white person just start throwing the N-word out to a black person. Dog, you know what's going to happen to you. You're going to get your face kicked in and caved in by some of us. Some of us will laugh about it. But you try to go right there with that to try to undercut us by throwing out that word. Because you know, and there's no way that you don't know, what that word means coming out of y'all mouth compared to us saying it to one of us. You know what it is. So I'm not going to try to play this game with that. And with the way that we're in right now in America, you know what ICE is doing? You being white, looking at a man that Hispanic, and say to another man, tapping him on the shoulder, say, maybe we should call ICE. Dog, it doesn't matter if you were just saying that just for sports reason or whatever the crap may have you. You cannot say, maybe let's call ICE. ICE right now, as I've stated already earlier, people hate ICE. People know what ICE is doing. What are you doing? You need to not mention ICE. It's not the thing. And again, when sporting things happen, people get too involved with their sports. People are diehard sports fans for certain teams. I don't know if that was the case here, but you just can't throw something out there like that. And I'm not trying to shoot this woman no bail. I'm just saying maybe that was her reason to do it. But either way, it's still not the brightest reason to do it. It's not. So she lost her job at this, she lost her position at Make-A-Wish in Wisconsin, and she lost her job at the Manpower Group over there. So that's just the consequences of that. But let that be a lesson to everybody out there. I don't care, but more specifically, no. I think that's for everybody. It doesn't matter if you're black in this instance too, because certain black people will say some hateful things to Hispanics as well, and vice versa. But with the ICE thing, it just makes it way more easier just to throw that out there. You should not be saying ICE, threatening of ICE. Maybe we should call ICE. Anything with ICE, unless saying you want ice in your drink, or you're going to get ice for your drink, or whatever the case may be, put in your freezer. You get my point. Threatening someone of Hispanic heritage, or someone that looks Hispanic, threatening them with ICE, that's not the move for anybody right now. Matter of fact, if you are in Chicago, New York, anything like that, because it doesn't matter if you are Hispanic looking, certain black people right now are getting grabbed up by ICE as well. Just the pure mentioning of just saying ICE, that is not the thing right now, just to throw out there. And I think that's what everyone should learn. And especially if you're being recorded. Dog, you saw the phone. You saw him looking at you. You see the phone in your eye line of sight. Dog, listen, you are being recorded 24/7 every single day, whether you know it or not. If you have an Apple phone, you're being recorded. That's why you should be careful. If you have a laptop, those cameras, you know you're going to be recorded. You just have to be careful of what you are saying. And this woman right here, she did that deliberately. And again, she could have did that just to get underneath homeboy's nerve for the sporting event. Or she could have did that because, let's be honest, if you look at her, she has the Karen look. She has the Karen hairdo. She has the stance for it. And she could have did that just to be a dick. And you saw what happened. She lost her job and her seat. So let that be a lesson for everybody out there. Please don't do what this woman did. Please learn from this woman's, I'm not even going to say mistake. Please learn from this woman's stupid actions, and don't be a dickhead. Even at a sporting event where being a dickhead is at least encouraged a little bit, but don't take it to the levels of what she did. That's all I will say with that. Now, moving off of that, USA Today will write up an article saying that there was a home that was filled with thousands of stolen Legos discovered. Suspect arrested. Police said a California man was arrested for allegedly stealing hundreds of thousands of Legos to resell them at inflated prices as part of a theft ring local authorities recently announced. Santa Rosa police began investigating an organized retail theft fencing operation against Robert Lopez, 39, last month, the department announced October 15th in a news release. Lopez is a resident of Lake County, north of San Francisco Bay Area. Police said Lopez was directing others to steal expensive Lego sets and purchasing the stolen property at reduced prices before reselling the sets or individual minifigurines at inflated prices. Detectives reviewed footage, conducted surveillance, and collaborated with organized retail theft investigators. from both Target and Walmart as they conducted their investigation. USA Today contacted both Target and Walmart for a comment, but have not received a response. On October 13th, detectives served a search warrant on Lopez at his home in Hidden Valley Lake. While there, detectives found tens of thousands of Legos pieces spread throughout the house, providing further evidence of a large-scale operation, including the collectibles, they said. Police said the living room was filled with tubs, bins, and desks covered with loose Legos pieces. There were additionally numerous unopened boxes of new Lego sets, the department said. Cops found thousands more Lego pieces in the kitchen and disassembled Legos minifigures that were discovered with heads separated from the bodies. Police added that the heads were neatly organized by facial expressions. But long story less long, they said that there was over $6,000 worth of Legos found in Lopez's home. Now, here's my thing on this. This isn't shocking to me because some years ago, on this exact broadcast, there was a time where I talked about homes being, I'm not going to say raided, but there would be homes that had stolen Legos, stolen like toys that people would go from one store, stealing out of that, wait a couple months, go to another store, or go right back to the exact same store, steal more things out of that exact same toy item, and bring it back to their home. And this just seems par for the course right here. It is holiday time. People are trying to rack up, and people are trying to get toys for their kids right now. So it's easier right now for a lot of these people to, I'll say, grab the toys and try to resell them. And what's interesting to me is this. I'm not certain how many people are know about this. There was a shoe company called Cool Kicks, which I did not know a lot about it because I don't do the whole shoe game, the sneakerhead type deal. I don't know much about it, right? But that store was raided by LA PD earlier this month, and they said that they found $500,000 worth of inventory that was stolen. So you had shoes that were there, stolen. You had Nikes, all the other type of stuff, right? Some high pricing shoes. And it seems to me that this was the exact same way that these Legos got stolen. People would steal them. The guy would go and buy it from them, resell it back at a high price. And that's what it seemed like, the same way that Cool Kicks did. Or at least that's my understanding of that. I just wish that people would be smarter about this type of stuff. I don't think you're able to pull off this type of stuff and just constantly get away with it. I think if you're able to get away, let's say for Legos, right? For Legos, you get 20, 30 boxes. Some regular, but then some of them might be some of the more exclusive, expensive type of Lego sets, because, ladies and gentlemen, I did not know how expensive Legos were until I just walked around the store and I just go into the toy department, because I do that from time to time. I go and check out the action figures over there. I look over at the Lego set and I just see how much Legos cost, and I'm like, are you serious? Some Legos, like the regular 50 some pieces, are probably like $20, $25. And I think that's crazy. And then you get those really elaborate ones, like the what I saw was a Star-Lord mask that you can build up with Lego, Iron Man's gauntlet that you can do. No, it wasn't Iron Man's gauntlet. It was the Infinity Gauntlet. What's my homeboy's name from Lion King? Simba. Like, they have a lot of different Lego pieces in Lego sets, and some of those be ranging up to big money, which is crazy to me, because again, I don't see that value because I'm not a Lego builder, but certain people are willing to pay those type of prices. But getting back to it, if you have 30 sets, and again, you have some basic ones and then some of the big ticket ones, I would just say if you're able to get it off one time, let that just be it. Let that just be all you can get off. Don't try to be greedy and don't try to overstep that, because when you do, it leads down a pattern and it leads down a situation which you will not be able to backtrack yourself out of, because somebody will be watching you. Because you gotta at least think, if someone steals goods, and Legos are a ticketed thing, which people will be doing an investigation on, just like shoes and some other things, you gotta know when to hold them and when to fold them. And if you're able to get it off one time, that's all you need to do. You need to just do it one time and just call it quits right after that. You don't need to do it multiple times, because again, you will get caught. You will get caught. There's no way you're not going to get caught, especially in this time that we're in right now, where everybody's being heavily monitored. I just said it with the last news topic with the lady. You're constantly being recorded. You're constantly being looked at, whether people want to acknowledge it or not. You are. So you guys should be aware of those type of things. And again, I think if you're able to get it off one time, which I think personally the government allows you to get away with certain things just once, I think that's the only time you should ever do it. Just do it once if you're able to get it off and just call it a day. Don't try to get greedy. Don't try to overstuff yourself, because when you do that, you're going to end up making mistakes and you will get caught. It's not an if, it's just a when. You will get caught. So to this California guy, I hope for the best of you personally, but to everybody out there that's thinking about trying to steal and resell the goods that you stole, because we are, again, in the holiday season, if this is your first time doing it, let this be your last as well. Don't get too high on this situation. Okay? Now, with that, now it's time for me to go on to my next topic, where I'm still in the world of thievery, but this time is over out there in Spain. Apparently there is a Picasso piece that is missing. The piece is worth $650,000. It's a small art piece. Apparently it's a piece that's 5 inches by under 4 inches. It was on a piece of paper. Apparently Picasso's work for this one depicts a guitar and several everyday objects. Cool. But it was supposed to be a part of this 57 piece art shipment, and it was supposed to be transported from one exhibit onto another. They never made it to the destination, obviously. Now, the story that goes that there was a van, 2 gentlemen that was supposed to be making the trip, and it was roughly a 260-mile journey, which usually takes up to 5 hours. Now, I'm getting all this from ABC News. But as I said, as the story goes, the gentlemen in their van left Madrid on the afternoon of October the 2nd. They made an unscheduled stop, an overnight stop in a small town. The 2 drivers told police they took turns sleeping in or near the van and kept watch over the cargo all night, according to a source with direct knowledge of the investigation. So once they got to their destination, the workers, they did what they were supposed to do. Go start unloading the van, look at the works to make sure everything's there. But when it got to Picasso's piece, wasn't there. So right now, they're looking for Picasso's piece. And again, is worth estimated $650,000. Only thing I'm going to say is this. If you have that piece of work, I would say try to store it somewhere to the best of your ability. And also just try to do what you've been doing every single day. Don't be suspicious. Don't be dumb. Now, that's me just speaking on the realistic side. But let me be respectful. Let me be the guy that I'm supposed to be here. If you have that piece of work, turn it in. Turn it in to the authorities so this piece of art can go back to the destination that it was supposed to, so people can look at the painting or look at the piece, whatever. But me personally, as a guy that sees art, and if it's not that big of a deal for certain pieces, if this piece is worth $650,000, and again, we live in a realistic world, and I don't know your predicament, if you're dirt poor and you have that piece of work, yo dog, I ain't gonna hold you. Try to find a way where you can hold that until until everything dies down. Because right now they saying they got what, Europol, Interpol, all other agencies trying to look into this and try to find this art piece. So if you have it, I would say once again, me just being realistic, try to wait and keep it with you until the tension dies down. But in the wake of that, I'll say give it a month, 2 months, 3 months. Start asking about people and hypotheticals about art pieces, where people can sell art pieces without too much heat being brought onto them. That's what I would say for people that, or the person that has that piece. But I'm pretty sure people in Spain know what's going on. I'm pretty sure there's people in that art world, the other side, not the legitimate one, but the other one, that probably know who at least has this piece of work. But the police or these international agencies are going to do their job to try to find the people or peoples for this Picasso piece. But if you have it, you know what to do. And if you work in that international agencies, you know exactly who to talk to. You know who to talk to. You know who to grease their palm to get the answers. Do what you do. But that's what's going down there, at least in Spain, with thievery. Now, with me getting out of that, I do want to talk about two things before I do leave. The first thing, apparently there's an AI woman that Hollywood is fearing. There's a woman named Tilly Norwood, and I don't know much about this woman. I'm just looking at an article right here. They're saying that this woman is the first actress created entirely by AI. And we're already starting to see people not mess with it. You got agencies saying that they will not represent this AI. They will not represent or touch anything with this. You got actors and actresses not really digging this AI star or what they're doing with this right now. This is what I believe they say the 2023 SAG-AFTRA strike was all about. Actors trying to secure their protections against AI use. And let me just say this right now. AI is coming. AI isn't just coming, it's here. You're going to have a lot of Hollywood productions in the future using AI. Now, whether they go the whole AI route that we're trying to see here with the actor and actresses and commercials, movies, that's going to happen probably in the far future. That's not going to be scratched out. It's coming. But right now, for all the actors right now that have a problem with this, because again, there will be some actors that did speak up about it, like Emily Blunt, whenever she's doing the whole press tour for the Smashing Machine, she says, "Good Lord, we're screwed," calling the idea really, really scary. You have another actress, Betty Gilpin. She write up an open letter to this AI actress. In the letter saying, "You don't make me feel like my cells are trading with yours. You make me feel alone. You look good, but you look empty." And obviously it's going to be empty. It's AI. It's not a real thing. But as I'm saying right now, and as the actors were doing with the striking in 2023, AI is coming and is fastly approaching. They're already trying to, once again, pull the stunts here. And I don't see how you do that with actors. I don't see how you do that with Hollywood movies. I think people are already messing around with AI right now. You see it so many times on your Twitter feeds, your Instagram feeds, whether it be they mess around with some dead celebrities, putting them in ridiculous situations. And again, This is the AI programs that you see people doing it. You see people mess around with movie scenes and they alter it with AI programming. I mean, AI programming is here and is here to stay until someone destroys it, but it's not going to be destroyed. Let's call it a spade here. So it's here to stay. What Hollywood should be doing and what the actors should be doing is really, once again, trying to put the hammer down to any type of, let's say, company that's trying to put AI actors and actresses in situations, because again, it's not going to end well for anybody. It's just going to make lots of individuals upset, especially the actors and actresses. You got to think, if you try to replace them with the AI star, I mean, the only thing you're doing is just hurting your bottom line. I mean, I don't see no type of AI star really popping out and really taking the spot of a big movie star. I don't, especially with all the talent that you see out here in real life. I don't think you're going to see AI really touching the soul like you see actual people on your television screens, on your movie screens, touching the soul like you see them do. AI can't do that. Or let's put it like this. AI does not have the software that it needs to do that yet. Do I think someone is going to be highly intelligent, able to make that type of system where AI can deliver such a monologue that it makes you feel something? I think is going to come down the line. And as I said, again, down the line. Right now, they ain't got that. So right now, once again, they're trying with this Tilly Norwood woman. They're just trying to just slowly open up the doors right now to get everything together for AI and show you what an AI actress or AI actors could look like towards the future. And again, this is just the early stages of it, but I think the actors and actresses, once again, should go up to their agents, go up to the Hollywood studios and tell them, yo, we can't have this. We can't have this in our industry. They can mess around with the editing process, the special effects and all that, but AI like that, no. So this Tilly Norwood situation, I understand why people on Twitter, people in Hollywood, they're not really liking, as I said already, the little early rollout that they're doing. But just remember, this is a rollout right now. This is the early stages of it. You guys could put the kibosh to it and try to end it. But once again, know that AI is coming to that industry. It's going to come better down the line. Just look at Tilly Norwood as the beginning model and see what you guys can nitpick off and tell, once again, the production houses what these AI systems can't do that you as a human can do. That's what I would say if you're in the industry, to kind of unite and just go up to your productions. Go to the production houses, go up to your management, and once again, try to have those fights to make sure everything's still aligned for you to get paid, get work, and make sure everything's right in Hollywood. That's what I would say for that. The last thing that I do want to talk about is give a congratulations to TJ Holmes and Amy Robach. They announced their engagement on their podcast episode this past Tuesday. It's almost been 3 years since they've been kicked off of ABC and been fired. First of all, once again, congratulations to them for their engagement. But why are they not on TV? That's still the big question mark for me. When they got their release from ABC, I thought Amy Robach was going to find a place to call home again in the news industry world. I thought she was probably going to go to either NBC, CBS, somewhere down those ballparks, because if you got my guy that used to do the weather from ABC and he got kicked out from ABC because, again, the rumor mills, nothing was ever confirmed, that he had a bad temper and he talked foul to certain people. But now he works, if I'm not mistaken, over in CBS, and he does the weather for them. why isn't an A.B. Robach? Why isn't a T.J. Holmes working over in the NBC or the CBS or in the place that Chris Cuomo's working, like the News Now network, something like that? Why are they still on hiatus? Why haven't I seen them in the news business? It's just a weird thing to me that they get ousted for ABC because of the whole romantic behind their partners deal, and they don't ever get another news job, at least on big network television. Wise again, it's just really weird to me. I don't know why no other news network don't want to touch them, but I hope that they do, because yes, again, they cheated on their partners, or if one was going through something, the other one was going through something. Again, no one ever truly knows, but the word was, again, that they cheated. So I'm going to go with that. They cheated on their partners. They hooked up with one another. They're now together. That, to me, shouldn't really be such a big black stain on them so they couldn't get another job in the news field. It just doesn't seem right to me. But, hey, again, congratulations to them. And I do hope that does turn around for them, and I'm hoping to see them back on television sometime, because again, it's just really weird just to be kicked out of the news industry because of this. It's just really, really weird. But again, congratulations to them for their engagement. Now, with that said, I believe that's everything that I do actually want to talk about. So now it's time for me to send you guys about your way. I would like to thank everyone for downloading the podcast. I would like to thank everyone for listening to the podcast. I would like to thank the podcasting sites, whether it be Apple, Google, Podbean, Spotify, iHeart, all the other podcasting sites that have me on there, because without them, I wouldn't be able to get this podcast that you, the downloaders and listeners, so I'd like to thank them. But I would like to also thank you guys, the downloaders and listeners, for listening to me talk and give my opinions on the news that happened this week. I would like to thank you for listening to me, whether you're in your car, in your homes, in your gym, in your headphones, speakers, whatever you listen to me on. I would like to thank you guys, because you could be doing anything else and listening to anything else, but you're listening to me. I really do appreciate that. And again, thank you for it. Now, with that said, always remember,
I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you.
that is not a gimmick. I truly do love and appreciate everybody for listening and downloading episodes, and I do hope that you guys do have a lovely week. For the people that watch professional wrestling, I will be giving you guys a review of AEW's Wrestle Dream tomorrow. That pay-per-view did happen last night if you're listening to this episode on Sunday, so expect a review of that pay-per-view tomorrow on your Monday episode there. But everything in this upcoming week is going to be going to usual routine. Wednesday, you'll get your midweek breakdown episode out of me. Thursday, your Let's Have a Chat series episode out of me. Saturday, your Wrestling Highlights of the Week episode. And then next Sunday, another My Two Cents podcast, which is focused on the news. So, yeah, this upcoming week, everything still remains the same. Just want to let you guys know that. And if there's going to be any interruptions, you'll know about it from one of the episodes, because I'll let you guys know. So, with that said, this has been the My Two Cents podcast, presented by and hosted by G2. He is I and I am him. This isn't goodbye. This is until you hear from this sweet sounding voice again. And once again, please don't be a dick. Please be courteous to everyone that you do come across. And please try to be on your very best behavior as you enter this week. So with that, Kanye, could you please take these people home?
I'm tired, you tired, Jesus wept.